Excerpts from Good Country People by Flannery O'Connor. It was hard for Mrs. Hopewell to realize her child was 32 now, and that for more than 20 years she had had only one leg. She thought of her still as a child because it tore her heart to think instead of the poor stout girl in her 30s who had never danced a step or had any normal good times. Her name was really Joy, but as soon as she was 21 and away from home, she had had it legally changed. Mrs. Hopewell was certain that she had thought and thought until she had hit upon the ugliest name in any language. Then she had gone and had the beautiful name, Joy, changed without telling her mother until after she had done it. Her legal name was Holga. When Mrs. Hopewell thought the name Holga, she thought of the broad blank hull of a battleship. She would not use it. She continued to call her Joy, to which the girl responded, but in a purely mechanical way. Holga had learned to tolerate Mrs. Freeman, who saved her from taking walks with her mother. And without warning one day, Mrs. Freeman began calling her Holga. She did not call her that in front of Mrs. Hopewell, who would have been incensed. But when she and the girl happened to be out of the house together, she would say something and add the name, Holga, to the end of it, and the big bespectacled Joy Holga would scowl and redden as if her privacy had been intruded upon. She considered the name her personal affair. She had arrived at it first purely on the basis of its ugly sound, and then the full genius of its fitness had struck her. She had a vision of the name working like the ugly, sweating Vulcan who stayed in the furnace and to whom, presumably, the goddess had to come when called. She saw it as the name of her highest creative act. One of her major triumphs was that her mother had not been able to turn her dust into joy, but the greater one was that she had been able to turn it, herself, into Holga. However, Mrs. Freeman's relish for using the name only irritated her. It was as if Mrs. Freeman's beady, steel-pointed eyes had penetrated far enough behind her face to reach some secret fact. Something about her seemed to fascinate Mrs. Freeman, and then one day Holga realized it was the artificial leg. It seemed to Mrs. Hopewell that every year her daughter grew less and less like other people and more like herself, bloated, rude, and squint-eyed. And she said such strange things. To her own mother she had said, without warning, without excuse, standing up in the middle of a meal, with her face purple and her mouth half full, "Woman, do you ever look inside? Do you ever look inside and see what you are not? God!" She had cried, sinking down again and staring at her plate. Malebranche was right. We are not our own light. We are not our own light. Mrs. Hopewell had no idea to this day what brought that on. She had only made the remark, hoping Joy would take it in, that a smile never hurt anyone. The girl had taken the Ph.D. in philosophy, and this left Mrs. Hopewell at a complete loss. You could say, "My daughter is a nurse," or "My daughter is a schoolteacher," or even, "My daughter is a chemical engineer." You could not say, "My daughter is a philosopher." That was something that ended with the Greeks and Romans. All day Joy sat on her neck in a deep chair, reading. Sometimes she went for walks, but she didn't like dogs or cats or birds or flowers or nature or nice young men. She looked at nice young men as if she could smell their stupidity. One day, Mrs. Hopewell had picked up one of the books the girl had just put down, and opening it at random, she read, "Science, on the other hand, has to assert its soberness and seriousness afresh, and declare that it is concerned solely with what is. Nothing. How can that be for science anything but a horror and a phantasm? If science is right, then one thing stands firm. Science wishes to know nothing of nothing. Such is, after all, the strictly scientific approach to nothing. We know it by wishing to know nothing of nothing. These words had been underlined with a blue pencil, and they worked on Mrs. Hopewell like some kind of evil incantation in gibberish. She shut the book quickly and went out of the room as if she were having a chill.